Let's bring in Fox News contributor Kaylee McGee-White and Republican strategist Luke Ball. Thank you both for coming on. I want to play the soundbite, Kaylee, for you. This is Gerald Nadler. Watch.
But what is really the major problem in this country today is the fascism in our streets. The attacks on American citizens by masked hoodlums. If you were attacked by a masked person, you might think you were being kidnapped. You'd be justified in shooting the person to protect yourself.
I don't think he believes what he's saying, Kaylee. I mean, what are these lawmakers doing?
Yeah, what a gross way to describe the men and women who have signed up to serve their country in federal law enforcement. But, you know, Trace, we've seen this playbook before. This is the 2020 playbook. This is when Democrats have to sensationalize and even outright fabricate claims in order to get people to reject the issues that they care about. They know that if voters are given a choice on immigration, they are going to choose common sense immigration enforcement over a lawless open border every single time. And I think that what these sort of bombastic claims from Democrats actually prove is that they know that they're losing on this issue. So they have to resort to deception and emotional manipulation. The difference, though, is I think that voters are wising up to it and they're not going to fall for it again.
Yeah, meantime, Kaylee's right. You know, it's the same old tired narrative, but now you have Democrats that are swapping out defunding police for abolish ICE. Listen.
They don't care about order, and they most certainly don't care about the law. This senseless death, lawlessness, and violence must end, and so must the presence of ICE in Los Angeles.
Thank you for joining the call to get ICE out of our cities, for us to dismantle this department that is not just rogue, but unlawful.
They never think of the victims or the criminals taken off the streets, Luke. It's never about that.
We have to entirely reframe the question for the Democrats. And every Democrat running in the midterm election cycle should be asked this question. Are you okay with rapists and criminals and murderers and violent gangbangers getting deported from our country if they are in here illegally? And if you ask that to most Democrats on the street of Minneapolis or most elected Democrats today, they would probably be forced to say no. And if that's the case, they're basically framing the argument that El Chapo is just like Mr. Rogers, that there's no difference whatsoever. So every midterm election advertisement from Republicans should have three things on it: the face of the victim of violent criminal aliens, the mugshot of the violent criminal alien that was arrested, and then also the member of Congress in the Democrat Party who is advocating for that person to stay in this country.
Called context, a little bit of context. Here is Trump going back and forth with CNN over Epstein.
A lot of women who are survivors of Epstein's are unhappy with those redactions that came out. Some of them, entire witness interviews are totally blacked out. Do you think that they should be
happy with the fact that they thought they released too much? You know, I heard that, and you tell me something else. No, I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else. Really, you know, now that nothing came out about me other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people.
I mean, Kaylee, they're still asking about something that they just cannot, it cannot get Trump anywhere near, and it just kills them.
Yeah, and I think that Trump is understandably frustrated with these sort of gotcha questions that are at best a distraction from the actual issues that Americans are facing on a daily basis. Not to mention that the questions about the Epstein scandal are completely hypocritical. Where is CNN interviewing the Democrats about their so-called associates who are in the Epstein files? Or better yet, where is CNN asking Democrats why they were silent on the Epstein issue until Donald Trump came back into office? I would like to see CNN press some Democrats for answers on those questions.
Here's the Wall Street Journal headline, Luke. U.S.-Iranian talks are still expected after Gulf flare-ups. It goes on to say the U.S. shot down an Iranian drone aimed at the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, and a U.S.-flagged ship outran an attempt by armed Iranian gunboats to force it to stop spiking tensions in the Persian Gulf. By midday this afternoon, I thought these talks are not going to happen. Trump says they are. What do you think, Luke?
I'm glad they're moving forward. Iran always seems to be their worst worst own enemy whenever these talks happen or whenever these negotiations are moving forward. The political factions that are working there seem to be all over the place. I'm always curious about what Russia and China are doing in terms of behind-the-scenes actions and watching how the United States moves forward. But this is the art of the deal president, the one who pulled together the Abraham Accords and made peace in the Middle East. I'm confident that moving forward like this will secure peace around the world and make sure American sons and daughters and our military members do not get involved in everlasting wars.
Luke Ball, Kaylee McGee White, thank you both.
Thank you.